Hey, Jenny, how are you doing?
Not bad. How are you?
I was remembering yesterday that when we came back in 2006, you were our first interview on that red carpet in the Corden. Do you remember?
Yeah, no, but I do remember, and I was trying to work out if it was 2005 or six because it was the launch of a documentary, and it was
That's
down in
it.
the.
Exactly. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I was very excited that day when you all came back, but
So were
literally
we.
cannot believe that is pretty much 15 years on,
Oh my
and
God! Don't, please don't mention the years. We don't want to know about that.
yeah, you're looking good. You don't look like it's
Oh,
15 years.
so are you. We've not done bad, have we? Come on.
No. Congratulations on the album and the new
Yeah.
single, Lita. That is a sexy song.
Oh, thank you. You know what? You must speak to people all the time. It's a really making new music when you've done it as long as I've done it. It's always a tricky thing. It's like, what's gonna inspire me to go running back into a studio? Because I mean, albums take in general between 18 months and 2 years, or sometimes 3 years. It's a long piece of time. What's going to inspire me to want to go in there and do this? And for me, early on, I had this idea of working with an orchestra. I really wanted to try and add musicians to this record, have people on there, have real bands playing together. In the end, it ended up a mixture of musicians, small bands, me sat on a piano with strings around me, to as many as a 60-piece orchestra. So we've kind of made it an album which is more than just orchestral. It's just people playing, and it could be small groups or large groups. Now, little did I realize through recording this album how poignant that would be in these times, to get I wouldn't be able to do it now. You're not allowed to do it, to get a big group of people playing together. So I now look back on these sessions we did and the way we recorded it with a real fondness, because we're just not allowed to do that. And we actually don't know when we'll be allowed to do that again. So at the moment, this record, to me, I listen to it and I'm remembering better times, really. And times where these amazing musicians could go in there and make our hair stand on end with the way they play and how they play together. So there you go.
Yeah, well, I love it. It's so good. I mean, I love as well the fact that you've got people collaborating with you in some of the songs. Well, they're all original songs, aren't they?
All original songs. Yeah.
Are there any songs that you were like, this could actually work for Take That, or are they all absolutely just you?
Yeah, I definitely have, because I to be honest, Jenny, I write every day. I write something every day. And it could be for, I'm in the middle of 2 films at the moment. I'm in the middle of a TV show. I've just finished this album. So basically, if I had a virtual desk, it would be this high, full of things I'm writing on, working for, recording. They're all at different stages. So there's definitely a drawer where I go, oh, hang on a minute, that's a Take That song, and I put it to one side. And so when we do come back together again, I've got a little list of things to do. But specifically, I think once your head is in an album and you're working for a specific thing, that's generally what comes out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, because you've got 3 is clearly the magic number, not only with Howard and Mark, but now on this occasion you've got a bit of Bublé in there, and you've got, my goodness, Sebastian Yatra. Hello there.
Yeah, me and Michael were dreading that sort of a comment, because he's definitely in the group to sell the posters.
Oh,
however,
it's
not true, because when Michael suggests, so I went to Michael first. We've been talking about doing something for ages, and I said to him, I've got to start the song here. What do you think? And he was like, yeah, this is great. Did some work on it, sent it me back, and he was like, you know what, this is going to be great. People are going to be excited about this, but I've got a suggestion. And he sent me Sebastian's some links to some of his music, and his music's great. Because I think we think of like South American music. I think we always think of Ricky Martin and maybe Gloria Estefan for the older generation, but it's not like that anymore. It's, I mean, like, they're so up to date. It's like almost listening to the Billboard charts. They're really cutting edge, and I loved his music straight away. So I was like, right, let's get this guy and let's see what he can do. So we sent him all the tracks, and because obviously everything's on, you know, on Zoom and phone calls, and he just sent us back this track, and we were like, now we feel like we're singing about a girl from Brazil. So it seems to have worked great, and the guys are lovely, lovely boys to work with. We've had a real laugh. And we made a great video, by the way, which no one's seen yet, which we're literally just putting the finishing touches to. But yeah, it's been great for me. You know, for me, I always feel safety in numbers. So a solo project is always slightly daunting for me. It's 7 years since the last one. So having the boys with me on this one has been really great.
But you've got other people as well. I mean, you've got some good people on there. I mean, for start, James Corden, who you've sung with many times, to be fair.
Yeah, do you know what? It was a late addition, this was. I always say the 11th hour brings fine things. And so I always try and keep writing right up to it, even though I felt like I had the album. And this song came about, and it was kind of like, it reminded me of those, my dad used to love Morecambe and Wise. And I thought, you know what, wouldn't it be great? No one's done like a Buddy song in years, like a Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis, like a Friends, but you're taking the mickey out of one another. And there's only one person that you'd do that kind of a record with, and it's James. So I wrote it and I sent it to him, and he was like, listen, we're on massive lockdown here, but book me a studio and I'll go and record it. So literally it happened within about 24, 48 hours, it was kind of done and recorded. And I think it's great. It brings a smile to my face when I hear it. And it's a lovely way to sort of finish the album off. So that was great.
Oh, amazing. And obviously you've got one as well with Beverly Knight.
Oh.
I mean, her crooner sessions with you, God, her voice. I've known Beverly for years and years and years. And she's just incredible. And she's actually, we announced on Smooth this morning, she's going to be coming on your tour with you.
Yeah. So Bev's a great friend of mine. She actually toured with us in 2007 when we did the comeback tour. And she's always one of my first phone calls, because first and foremost, she is incredible. Like, puts everyone, I always feel like I'm a semi-pro when I'm around her. She is just the business. But just a great person as well. She's, you know, you always want her round for dinner. You always want her on tour with you. She's just a great person to be around. So whenever I'm doing anything, whether it's crooners, whether it's albums, whether it's tour, I always want Bev there. So thankfully I got her this time.
And can we just touch on the tour? How exciting for next year? How are you feeling about it?
Well, I'm feeling good. I mean, I don't know how you're feeling throughout this period, but, you know, I think people like you are out there, you know, the consciousness, people have got it on in their cars or they're at work. I think it's a job like yours is so important at a time like this. But, you know, I also think, you know, I'm useless at everything else other than I can do a little bit of music. And I think it brings a smile to people's faces. So I'm a very positive person. And through times like this, I always feel the value of being an entertainer, of being someone who makes music and hopefully takes people out the real world for a few minutes. So I'm extremely positive about it. You know, obviously when it comes close to the dates, if we're told we're not allowed to do it, we just have to put the dates back. But I feel like by then we'll all be in a better place. I hope we are. Hope and pray we are. And it'll be time to get up in front of an audience and do what we do.
Yeah, I can't wait. I really can't wait. I also have to ask you, you know, we play on Smooth, we play Take That songs regularly, which is
nice.
Something I'm happy about. What's going to happen? What's next with the boys? or the men?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, we always, when we were only on tour last year, so you know, we talk all the time. Most weeks I speak to at least one of them, and when they're ready, they'll make the call and we'll get back at it. You know, I don't know whether this experience will make them want to come back and talk quicker, or maybe they want to take longer out. You know, I don't know. I don't know. I know whenever we do band stuff, there's this invisible thread between us all that we get the pang at the same time. It's like, oh, I could do with something to do with the band now, and we all end up calling each other, and we all, you know, something great ends up happening. But you know, it's going nowhere. You know, I never envisage a day where we'd be saying to people that we're not going to do it anymore. I just don't never think that's going to happen. So we'll be back, I promise you.
It's amazing to think, you know, how many years you have all been working together. And as we were saying, back in 2006, was it that I first met you all when you were doing your comeback? The documentary was premiering. I honestly can't believe it was that long ago.
And you know what was strange? You won't know this, but we were all in the same car. They booked us 4 separate cars to turn up at that premiere where we saw you, and of course we got rid of 2 of them and we all ended up with 1, and we put our manager in the car in front of us, and I swear, Jenny, we turned back about 4 times. We were so scared. We hadn't done it for so long, and we were like, why are we doing this? Why are we, you know, we don't want to look desperate, we only want people to think good of us. You know, what happens if, you know, we ruined what we did the first? So we were so scared. So when we got out of the car and yours was the first face we saw, it was like, oh, thank goodness, you know, people aren't making fun of us. Oh. That's what was going through our heads.
Well, like from my side, we were all just beyond excited that you were coming back, because everyone had hoped that the day would happen. And sure enough, there it was. It was great. It was just so good. And things have gone so brilliantly as well for you. We've been talking a lot recently about very first gigs. And do you remember the first time you got up, even on your own, in front of an audience to perform? Because I have a feeling you were pretty young at the time.
Yeah, do you know what? I do remember it. I do. It was a talent competition at Wales. Let's never win. We know that, don't we? But that night they offered me a job in the bar there. I was 11. And I had a job every Saturday, getting up in front of you know, a little room full of people and playing cover songs on a piano. So that was the start for me, all that stuff. But I remember it so clearly.
Have you ever had nerves, Gary, when you got up on stage? Do you ever get nervous, or is that something you've always been on top of?
Yeah, I think so. I tell you what it is for me, is that no, I don't get nerves, and that may make me sound like I'm just a hugely confident person. I'm not really, but the one thing I've always done with whether I've been, you know, going on a TV show or just doing a live show or anything I do, is I'm so prepared. I really work at rehearsals. I always over rehearse. I always practice too long, because then when I get up there, I don't have to be nervous, because I know what I'm doing, and I can actually enjoy the experience, because I've got friends who are nervous, and it kind of ruins the experience for them. And I do feel for them. Some people are, you know, riddled with nerves, but I've always found that if I'm really prepared, I don't get nervous.
Yeah, well, when you're out your comfort zone, that's when you can start going, oh, but yeah, it sounds like you've got it handled. Well, listen, I know I've got to wrap up because you have a million interviews to do, but thank you for taking time.
You're welcome. So nice to see you. And so good luck. Stay healthy.
Yes, and to you, Gary. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jenny. Good to see you.